Okay, so we talked about bones. We've talked about 99% of calcium being in our bones. We've spoken about bones being reabsorbed and broken down by the osteoclasts, and that releases calcium into the blood. We've talked about osteoblasts building up bone and building up bone and taking the calcium out of the blood. So we're going to talk about homeostasis now, and that's about the calcium homeostasis in the blood. We must keep the amount of calcium in the blood at about of a level between 9 and 11 milligrams of calcium per 100 milliliters of blood. Who cares? The numbers don't matter, do they? But again, it's a tiny range, and we've spoken about the range of pH that we need in the body, and we'll talk about the range of sodium and the range of potassium, and we keep these levels very tightly controlled in the blood. Why do we need calcium controlled in the blood? Because calcium is needed for nerve activation, nerve impulse passing. It's needed for muscle contraction. It's needed for clotting. It's needed for cell division. And if we have the wrong amount of calcium in the blood, these 4 hugely important things in our body go out of whack. You can die because your heart muscle doesn't work properly if you've got a wrong amount of calcium in the blood. You can get into tetany, which is when all the muscles go like this, if you have the wrong amount of calcium in your blood. It's not good. So we need to balance it. We need to keep the balance. So how are we going to do that? Well, we have glands that make hormones, and we have a thyroid gland that sits in our neck, and at the back of the thyroid gland, can't use the word back, can I? Posterior on the thyroid gland, there are little pea-sized glands called parathyroid glands, so close to the thyroid. They just stick on the posterior surface of the thyroid gland in the neck. Sorry, I didn't want to do that. And the parathyroid gland makes parathyroid hormone. And parathyroid hormone tells osteoclasts to become more active. So if the parathyroid gland releases parathyroid hormone, we can abbreviate that to PTH, osteoclasts are going to work harder breaking up bone, which releases calcium into the blood. So if the calcium drops, parathyroids release more PTH, osteoclasts do more work, the calcium level rises. If the calcium level in the blood increases, the parathyroid level decreases, so the osteoclasts are told to do less work, so they stop releasing the calcium into the blood, and any osteoblasts that are active can build more bone than the osteoclasts break down. And that's the balance. Human beings do not have a hormone that makes the osteoblasts work more that we fully understand yet. I mean, there are obviously hormones that are making the osteoblasts work more to build the bone, but we don't fully understand that. Some of the books will talk about calcitonin, but that hasn't been proven to do anything in humans, so I don't teach about that. So if in your reading you come across calcitonin, know that that is not important for this class, although it's very important in other animals, but we haven't yet found the link for it in humans. So that's going to bring us on to diseases, and we'll do that in another video. Sorry, I'm going to say one more thing, just because I want to make sure that you've understood that this is a negative feedback loop, because as the stimulus of falling calcium levels makes the parathyroid hormone increase, which makes the osteoclasts work more to release calcium into the bloodstream, the calcium in the blood will rise again. So the rising calcium is the opposite effect of the falling calcium, which was the stimulus. So the response is the opposite to the stimulus. The response reduces the stimulus, negative feedback. I just wanted to make sure that we'd all fully understood that again. Okay, thank you.